Dangerous Hurricane Harvey getting closer and closer to the Texas coast. I'm Mike Naso from the Tropical Video Update page here on YouTube with the latest on our very dangerous major Hurricane Harvey. There you can see it on the satellite imagery, the visible, looking very impressive, strengthening as it heads towards landfall. It's going to make landfall sometime later tonight or early in the morning, but the impacts are going to last a long time because we expect Harvey to stick around. So even though the winds will weaken, the prolific rainfall will continue and the flood threat will be catastrophic along areas of the Texas coastline and perhaps even inland. Now here's the latest on Hurricane Harvey. I have an update as of 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It was at 27.2 north, so it's moved further north, 96.4 west, a little bit west. That's 75 miles east-southeast of Corpus Christi, Texas, 85 miles south of Port O'Connor, Texas. Maximum sustained winds have increased to 120 miles per hour, and it is a Category 3 major hurricane. It's moving northwest still at 10. That's been very consistent in the last 24 hours or so. 943 millibars on the pressure. Some indications it's dropping even further than that. So this is a very serious hurricane. You can see the computer model guidance brings it ashore and then loops it around somewhere within the Texas coastline or just inland, perhaps offshore again, over the next 3 to 4 days, which is going to prolong the duration of the rainfall. And that's why some of these rainfall estimates are very, very scary. In fact, you can see some areas 20, 30, maybe even 40 inches of rain depending on how heavy it gets. So that's going to be very, very devastating. Here's the latest radar data out of Corpus Christi. You can see the eye wall is contracting, the new eye wall that it formed today, and it is barreling towards the coastline. Areas like Rockport, Port O'Connor, Port Lavaca, Victoria, Corpus Christi itself. You guys are in the direct path of this strengthening Category 3 hurricane, and as we zoom in a little bit on this radar image, you can see little areas here, Port Aransas, right in the path. Right in the path, and these barrier islands, we're already seeing strong gusty winds and water rises. Okay, and that's going to continue. The storm surge with Category 3 hurricane along this area of the Texas coastline can be very devastating. So we want you to take this very seriously. There's another image from the radar further to the north, long range. You can see the eye wall there. That's where those tremendous Category 3 winds are. Corpus Christi right here. Areas of Port Aransas further north. Port Aransas appears directly in the path if it continues on its northwest motion, and it can still strengthen further. It's already a Category 3 hurricane. It is not out of the realm of possibility this could become a Category 4 hurricane prior to landfall, although right now it is not. It is a Cat 3, but nonetheless a major hurricane. Should it maintain this intensity or strengthen even more, which it looks like it will, it'll be the first major hurricane to make landfall in the United States since Hurricane Wilma in 2005. So again, very bad news. Here's the storm surge inundation map, and again, these little barrier islands here near Port Aransas, and even inland outside Victoria, Port O'Connor, you guys are susceptible to extremely high storm surges in a Category 3 hurricane. Who isn't? But certainly you guys are. As we zoom in here, you can see some of these little barrier islands will not fare well. North Sea Drift and areas of Port O'Connor, Indianola, Texas, Magnolia Beach. As I showed a couple of days ago, you guys are really under the gun here for a significant storm surge, especially where those winds are onshore around the northern portion of the eye wall. On the water vapor imagery, Hurricane Harvey mixing out that new eye, looking better organized. A lot of moisture to work with, which will also come into play with the threat of severe weather and tornadoes. If you live in western Louisiana, you got a good burst of convection on the outer fringes of the hurricane headed your way, which is very bad news because that could have some gusty winds, rainfall, and of course the threat of tornadoes and severe weather. Again, looking at the visible satellite imagery as the sun begins to get high in the sky over the western Gulf of Mexico, a very dangerous major hurricane bearing in on U.S. landfall in Texas, Hurricane Harvey. As it continues towards the coastline, all residents should be rushing to complete any tasks if they haven't been completed already. and monitor the situation very carefully as Harvey moves in. We'll all be watching it, and we will see just what Harvey has in store. A dangerous Category 3 hurricane headed for the Texas coast. I'm Mike Naso, and I'll see you guys next time with more on Dangerous Hurricane Harvey.